Hottest gear in Reverb 2024. The year is at a wrap. Let's talk about it. Stay tuned. We're doing it right now. I'm Baxter.
I'm Sean.
We're here at Casino Guitars.
This is what we do.
That's what we do. It's been a cool year. It's been a lot of new stuff coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of old stuff staying on. Some kings have been dethroned.
Don't say it.
Dethroned, I know.
It.
And some new kings have been made.
That's right.
But don't worry. Give me the same big three as we were used to in certain aspects, but let's get into it right now.
Schecter dominated.
We got top-selling guitars, top-selling basses, top-selling acoustics. There's used ones. There's pre-owned. There's sort of hidden caveats behind like why these are maybe top-selling used or top-selling. There's thoughts behind it. We'll get into that when we get to them.
I don't like it.
And thanks for all the Reverb community for really putting this all together, making this happen. And Reverb, it's pretty cool that this whole thing exists. Yeah. I remember a time before Reverb.
There was the before and there's the after.
You remember that time?
No, I don't. I've always known a life with Reverb.
That's funny. Okay, yeah, I remember when eBay was the only way or marketplace.
Gross.
Let's go into electric guitars. Top three. This is where the dethroning happened. Number one, Fender Player Telecaster. This guitar has come back and jumped to the top. He's the king.
Is the king. It's because the Player 2 came out, right? Which is kind of silly. You're like, what?
Is that the top?
Well, no. It was discounted, obviously. The Player 1 was, so that it kind of boosted up some there. But they're still good guitars.
They're great guitars.
The Player ones.
The Player 2 is outstanding.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's better.
It's cool.
It's better.
Much better guitar. It's on the list as well. It just didn't make the top 5. So we're just kind of like leaning down to the top. Number 2, give it to us.
The American Professional 2 Stratocaster.
Yes, Stratocaster.
Which is pretty cool. It's somewhat surprising to me, but I mean, I guess I could see that, you know?
It's just a reliable stalwart. We don't always see that. We deal in a lot of the custom and boutique worlds too, and like we sell these obviously all the time, but it's always selling.
What I'd like to know is if that is a guitar that you play quite often, and you do own one. Leave it in the comments and let us know. And tell us what color, just for fun. I'd like to see.
That's cool. And why it's your fave.
Exactly. If that's your go-to, that would be cool to see.
Number 3, who was number 1 last year, the PRS SE Silver Sky.
Which is still a bad-ass guitar.
It was
kicks butt.
Bang for the buck. It kind of came out swinging hard and knocked Fender off the top spot for a while due to its, rosewood fretboard.
Rosewood fretboard.
Due to its great build quality and due to the fact that it has a gig bag.
Yep.
Fender, take notes. Fender doesn't come with gig bags still on these things, which shocks
everyone.
All of us, because hey, you're taking home this nice, almost $1,000 thing. Would you like to add a bag to that, sir, madam? That's always been. So yeah, Silver Sky's still rocking there. So Fender dominated with several models, more than that in the top 20. They sort of like crushed it. PRS secured 4 spots in the top 10, because we got the CE, SE,
great guitar
there as well. But it's pretty cool. So let's jump in here a little bit now. Top new releases. It's kind of cool of 2024. Number 1,
the PRS SE 24. Round of applause! Hooray! They killed it. That's a good guitar.
$500 guitar.
$500, and that guitar
gig bag
kills it.
And they've done the job of putting out multiple colors of it to keep it fresh and interesting.
Yep, and I like all the colors too. They haven't really put out one that I'm like, ew.
I think the original Color Blast was great. It had the most sort of figuring showing in the woods. The newer ones don't have as much of that. So if you're into crazy figuring, not figuring but streaky stuff in the stains, get the original colors.
That's right.
The newer colors are a little bit more solid and
the metallic takes over.
Yeah. The gold and that blue one it's really cool. Number 2, sort of as a shocker for us.
The Tom DeLonge Starcaster?
Fender?
I get it.
Blink-182 fans.
They had that big comeback tour. Tons of people were talking about it. I talked to a lot of people who wanted one. So that doesn't surprise me a bunch.
Here's the funny part about it. We sold a few of them, but I really like the guitar.
Yeah.
I really like that guitar as well. It just surprised me that it was like a big seller. We had people that bought ours weren't Blink-182 fans.
No.
And they were just like, this is a great guitar. I'm like, didn't our boy?
Yeah, he did.
Mike?
Yeah, Mike did. Mike got it, and he loves it. It's funny, the first thing they did, he said, man, let's put 11s on this and drop it down to C. It's like, yeah, dude.
Now, number 3 was not a surprise. Epiphones, Dave Grohl signature, DG.
We did it, boys. We locked it down.
He came back, and that was one of the top-selling guitars. Banging, I think it might have stayed on top even further if controversy didn't
It
arise.
only cost us our marriage. That's all.
Yes, it's just cost.
That's what I
marital
kept hearing.
in the Grohl household, sort of, I think knocked. I think that would have probably been at number 2, close to 1.
I think it would have been number 1. It's sad, and before anybody's like, no, that has nothing to do with it. We have heard tales of people canceling orders.
No, we have
because of it.
Our friends, some huge retailers, guitar shops, not saying names, but
Absurd.
like 20 cancellations because like Dave stepped out. He's a rock star. Of course he stepped out. I'm like, come on.
I mean, it's gonna happen. If that's his dark secret, his dark passenger, if you will. Okay, I'll take that over.
No, I thought that was cool that the PRS SECE is such a bang out just because of the price. It's hard to beat that, even with those guys, because the Tom DeLonge's over $1,000, the Dave Grohl's over $1,000, so it's like less than half the cost. So they can those things just $499 is a price of a new major manufacturer we hadn't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
And one of the cool sort of exclusive ones was the Guild Surfliner. Is that what it was?
Something like that.
Yeah, Surfliner HH. That was an exclusive $199 on Reverb. That was a big seller too. $199. The budget stuff. I think that's cool.
That's what you need.
Let's get into acoustic guitars right now. That's what you've all been waiting for, right? All of you.
I don't like this.
So this
I don't like this, man.
this one's confusing to all of us here. Number 1, prepare yourself. It's Fender. Now prepare yourself for what it was.
It's the Acoustasonic Player.
Telecaster. For its hybrid versatility. No, we were just kind of shocked by that a little bit. It's
Yeah, it's that's tricky to me because I have not heard outside of people asking me, "What do you think about it?" Not in a good way. But not that there's anything wrong with the guitar. If you play one and you love it, dig it, right? But here's my hypothesis. Okay, and I'm not saying this to be. Maybe I can be a little, stir some goofiness here, but
we're getting into the used part in a minute.
That's
Is that what you're
right.
talking about?
Yes.
So let's jump over that. So it's 2 different things. So a lot of these things, when you're seeing the used sales through of it as well, maybe they're being sold because
people buy them and they don't like them because it's the number 1 pre-owned as well. Right?
But this, yes, it was. This is number 1 on both charts. So it's sold a lot. I think a lot of sales are going on there.
That's a tricky thing to me. I mean, if you like it, let us know. If you bought one and you were underwhelmed, let us know. I think it's cool. I also wonder, do you think that it should be considered an acoustic guitar?
That's a good question,
Is it the leader of the pack for acoustics? It's like,
because I don't consider it an acoustic guitar. If I can't play it unplugged, I don't consider it an acoustic.
Yes. And
That's my definition of an acoustic guitar. I should be able to play for my friends and family and it doesn't sound like a cheap toy.
Yes. Well, and if you played that and you were singing with it, I think your voice would drown it out pretty quickly.
Especially my voice. I have a bellowing, majestic voice.
It's like, you ever seen The Lion King? It's like Mufasa.
It's like Mufasa mixed with Paul Rubens. It's a little bit like
and
that.
a little bit of Paul Dano.
Continuing, number 2, Ibanez, Tim Henson, signature.
No.
That kind of came out of nowhere too, right?
Not with those boomer bins.
No boomer bends on this guitar.
He was wearing like the sweater that he wore in that video too.
That's nice.
Funny.
Their band's sort of explosion over the past couple years has just sort of helped drive this, and it's cool. We're seeing a lot of younger buyers are buying exclusively through Reverb. So the major manufacturers have sort of figured this out as well, and they've even set up their own shops on Reverb. They're all doing it, just trying to move product is what they do. We still think of it as selling guitars and finding the right homes for wonderful puppies. Sometimes these cats are all about product movement. That's it.
They're dumping.
But that's cool. That's a good guitar. Number 3, the Tanglewood Blackbird Orchestra. Tanglewood makes a great guitar.
They do make a good guitar. I've talked to many a person who absolutely love them. I've played them, and I think they're pretty good too.
Now, these are the top sort of moving as far as numbers. Martin, Taylor, and Gibson obviously still crush the acoustic.
Yeah.
In the acoustic market. Martin is the number 1 leader right now. A few years back, it was Taylor. Martin has now taken the overall global Reverb sales. Also, I think some of the USA, and there's still the worldwide seller top. I think they're taking USA as well. Taylor's right behind there. And then Gibson's a little further back.
I like it when things get shaken up like this.
I do too.
And things kind of like shift. And I think it's okay. It's all in the sense of good competition, not necessarily, well, of course, because Martin's way better than Taylor. It's just like, that's cool.
No, well, Taylor was top dog for a long time because they kind of come out of the bat swinging hard with like new cool designs, and then that sort of settled in the marketplace, and then people are catching up, and the change of taste and Americana has risen high again. So that's
Plus.
put Gibson and Martin back up.
I feel like Martin and Gibson, for this matter, have been really, really crushing it with the guitars. I have not played a bad Martin that we've gotten in a very,
I think
very
we sold
long time.
like 3 really nice Martins yesterday, and I was like so proud of each of those guitars.
They sound amazing.
They sound amazing.
It's cool to sit down and you go in a situation like that where you're talking to a customer and the first chord that you strum is just there.
That's it.
That is the sell. Is this guitar is amazing.
Yes.
So that's great.
It's good. You know, the Acoustasonics, just key takeaways from that too is just it's sort of fascinating that it is still a strong part of the marketplace.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's still growing out there. They have a whole factory built just to build those guitars.
I mean, this is like year 7 of those being out, something like that. 6 or 7. Yeah. It's pre-2020, like 2018.
Now bass is this is fun because you got to stay tuned to this whole thing because everything's going to shock you a little bit. You think you know what the top bass is probably, right? Say what you think it is right now.
You're like, it's a P bass. It's a jazz bass.
Incorrect.
Wrong.
It is a Fender.
It's a bass 6.
What?
What's going on?
Remember, this is Reverb. They're zany. They have a weird office right across from Chicago Music Exchange in Chicago, obviously.
They're in cahoots.
No, they're crazy people though. They might be like, they're selling to like Mars or something.
That's right.
The bass 6, they're sort of thinking it's riding off of the fire of like the Beatles Get Back. I just think bass 6s are badass.
I've got a hypothesis here too. So they are badass, but I know tons and tons and tons and tons of metalcore, hardcore,
There you go.
pop punk, punk rock, all that good stuff. They eat that thing up because it's great for various tunings. And if you get the Squire version, you're paying a great value price at that instead of having to spend big bucks on a vintage one.
We think the Squire Classic Vibes are still one of the best lines out there. Yes, the price has risen over the past 10 years, substantially from what people think, but everything's risen over the past 10 years. But bang for your buck, Squire Classic Vibe, any of the line.
And they've just gotten better the last few years.
I
Like,
just
they just
ordered a
keep
whole
getting
bunch of
better.
new limited edition ones. We just ordered.
They look sick,
They're not coming out until like next summer.
but they're awesome.
That's how far ahead we know about this stuff. They're awesome.
We can see the future.
Prepare for the race. That's a hint.
The race.
That's a hint. Get it?
No.
Because the stripes.
The stripes.
Okay. Anyway, number 2. This is one you should expect. Fender Player.
P bass. It's the best recording bass. It's the best everything in a bass, I think, personally. Now the jazz bass is good. You're more of a jazz bass guy.
I like the sound of a P bass better. I like the playability of a jazz bass better.
And
it's tricky. So I would almost want like a J bass neck on a P bass body. I like those. Like that'd be my ideal custom shop bass if I was making one. Just I like the comfort of the J bass neck, but I like. I know, right? There you go. Have one of those mad scientists like Jason Smith build it for me.
Do it, Jason. Come on,
the
Jason.
Smith clan. That's expected. There's a lot more Fenders in this top 10 list. We're just doing the top 3. Number 3
is the Rickenbacker 4003.
They're back, baby.
And for good reason. I mean, it's a good bass.
It's iconic.
It's iconic.
It's enduring.
It's enduring.
It's spectacular. Now the Made in Japan Fender jazz basses are all over there too.
Yeah. It was actually kind of surprising to see this list and see how many,
This is used, right.
I mean, Fender basses.
Fender
on
dominates the list. Like we looked at it, they dominate the new and the used thing. It's crazy. The vintage Fender basses are making a comeback from the 70s, which we have predicted here at Casino Guitars for years. It's like hold on to your 70s things. The prices are going up, and I saw this yesterday. I haven't even told you about this. I saw someone asking for a 1979 Stratocaster, $11,000
Come
on
on.
Reverb,
Come on.
and it wasn't in Europe.
What are you smoking? I mean, don't get me wrong. At some point in time in the
Maybe
future,
in another 10 years.
it could be there. But right now, I'm like, they're good. They're not.
Okay, so
they're not that good.
let's do an overall sort of like the brand breakdown here. Like who were the winners here? The overall takeaways. Electric guitars. It's who exactly you think. Fender, Gibson, PRS.
Schecter. I mean, yeah, PRS.
No, Harley Benton did sneak back in there really hard too. Like they're doing really well with some of the, for the used stuff because it's pretty much free. Because it is like
They're giving it away.
it's a couple $100 for a lot of them, so it's a quick swap. So and you have to be savvy as a Reverb seller if you are selling these. Like you're shipping them, and so are you making any money, or are you just pivoting? You just gotta be careful. If you can sell it on marketplace.
Do some marketplace.
I mean, if you look at usually 10% plus a bump or something plus shipping, oi. So that's exactly where I sort of thought the
Yeah.
the top 3 electric guitar brands would rank out.
Yeah, I can see that. And I, in a similar way, talking about acoustics where there has been some shakeup, this has kind of been sitting in the same area for a while now. I'm ready to see something crazy happen.
Martin, Taylor, then Gibson in that order. Now, and this is, we're just talking Reverb today, but across the entire sales platform, it's a little different. So this is just Reverb only.
That's right.
Basses, I mean, we only need to say one name.
Gibson.
Hofner.
Oh, good.
No,
good. You went off the
thank
beaten
you.
path.
Fender. No, Fender took the king out. I mean, Ernie Ball, Music Man, that sort of comes in there sort of slightly behind.
Oh, yeah. A couple of classics, like the Rickenbacker was, in there, a couple of different models.
You've sort of seen like bands like we're sort of starting to toe dab in there, like PRS, like they sort of pull back from the bass department more. They're finding their footing in their overseas built pieces, and the SE line is coming in stronger and stronger. And I think the overall direction of that is they're trying to get a domination in the beginner segment to where you will eventually graduate into their S2 and core lineups as you grow and have a bank account.
Ooh.
That's it. So yeah, so Fender dominated across all the categories, including the acoustic, which was crazy. It's the rise of affordable sort of hybrid models too. And the Bass 6, that's odd.
That is odd.
Obviously vintage gear and exclusive pieces are thriving on Reverb right now.
Yep.
Which is really cool to see.
Cool. I love vintage stuff. Vintage is good.
We're gonna dive deeper into this, so you gotta stay tuned. For other videos in the future, we might be doing this on pedals, amplifiers, all sorts of fun things and getting a little deeper. Looking at an overall picture of the market, not just on Reverb as well.
That's right.
And you gotta remember what Sean said too, a lot of this stuff, some people are buying them, sometimes they're top sellers because people don't like them.
Yeah, that's right. They're turning around and being sold.
It doesn't mean it's the best thing out there. It's like, use your savvy nature there. A question out there, like put in the comments, which piece of gear surprised you the most? Well, I think we have our answer, and it's probably the same.
Yeah. Which one do you own of one of these that maybe has surprised us, as you've seen in this video, that you will hold on to, or that you have sold in the same year?
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of neat.
That's a cool, like,
buy and sell within 12 months is a cool little. Like, obviously, you didn't love it. Don't forget to like, subscribe,
hit the bell,
and please have fun out there. Happy holidays, all the good stuff is right now. Spend time with your family, play your toys, play it loud, play it proud.
Don't give up.
Don't give up hope. They live, I'm just thinking about they live. I'm just gonna chew bubble gum and kick ass.
Yeah.
That's what you should do over Christmas, and watch Die Hard. God bless those guys forever. I'm leaving. Peace be with you.